Hey everyone, BlackCross here, and here we are, end year video. I have a lot to talk about, but I feel like in this video particularly, I want to summarize it in a few statements. The first part is to explain what had happened so far this year, since it's been kind of a decline, if you will, if some of you probably noticed, some of you probably don't even know, but it's been kind of a decline. This middle part is going to be what my overall plans are. And then, of course, the last bit is to explain what I'm looking forward to the most. So, we'll try to do what we can in this video. I'm still not exactly 100% in mindset of what I'm wanting to do, but I'm going to do my very best. So first and foremost, to explain what's been going on so far and what's been happening, I think the best way to explain it is to explain how I felt about 2021. If we can summarize 2021 in one word, it would be recovery. A very, very long recovery phase. From what 2020 has brought us, 2021 is a recovery phase. You know, a lot of us here in America, for that matter, we're just kind of getting used to all of this. We're just kind of like being like, okay, we're going to put up with it and everything like that. You know, 2020 had been a shit show of a year, and 2021 is like, okay, we're here, we're now, we might as well deal with it. It's annoying, yes, but we're going to have to put up with it. And some people have not accepted that. Some people have not accepted that. But to a degree, that's where we are right now. It's just that recovery phase. And for me especially, because while, yes, everything in my life is okay for the moment, you know, my family's alright, or rather my immediate family, my other family members, which I haven't seen in like years, now that I think about it, but in terms of like my immediate family members, like for example my mom and stepdad, and my dad and stepmom, and my brother, we're all doing okay for the most part. Ways of work. I've mentioned this many times, no need to dwell on it anymore, but unfortunately work has not been doing well at all. If nothing else, they have done practically zero effort to help us in this time. Now, here's the thing, they've done everything to help supply us, if you will. You know, they've been paying us the way they should have, and they are providing insurance like they should have, and, you know, they're trying to get employees, which is the hardest part so far. That has been the hardest part. They've initiated this new ideal, and the biggest problem is trying to get the amount of people needed in order to do what they want us to do. And, well, since we didn't have the number of people, we had to do all the work. In other words, we're expected to do the work regardless of it. In other words, we're expected to do 100%, 150% every night. And, well, that's just not going to work in the long run. It's not. It's for people who are just now coming into the workplace. They're leaving just as soon as they get in. They realize what they're having to put up with, and they immediately leave, almost, it seems like. And for the very few people who do stay with it, are unfortunately tired out in the long run. And especially for some of us who's been there for years now. So it's like, in terms of the workplace, Walmart needs to do better. In fact, if it wasn't for the fact that there's a future product that I'm wanting to do, and I say future product, but I'll explain that in the later part of the video. If it wasn't for the fact that there's something that me and my brothers are wanting to do, I probably would just work 4 days a week instead of the opposed 5. But unfortunately, as of right now, I'm putting that on pause in order to see how things are going to go from here, because as of right now, we just don't know what's going to happen in 2022. Hopefully, at some point in time, things will get better. They say they're hoping to get better, but as of right now, there's no progression as to like how far that will go and how that will affect us in the future. So that's what's going on right there. It's kind of in that standstill of like, they hope to get things fixed up, but we just don't know yet. Sadly, we will not know until we get to that point, and that may very well be a elongated time. It's sort of like a video game development that has been revealed, but there's no release date, and so you're just sitting there in anticipation, wondering when that release date's going to happen. And in this case, it's the exact opposite. Instead of being hyped, you're just being worked to death in the hopes that eventually it will get better. It's a bad practice, admittedly, but in this day and age, what else can you do? I've got a job that pays very well, and the work does not help. In fact, I would rather work less and receive the pay less, if that makes sense. I would rather work less, knowing that I get paid less, so that way I don't have to put up with the bullshit for long. Which is also why that has made a decline in my overall access on YouTube, on Twitch for that matter. I've just been on the decline. So, if you notice, I stopped streaming back in, like, what was it, in August, I think? August was, like, the last time I streamed. The reason was simply because I was tired out. I was worn out, I was just stressed out more than I should have, and I didn't want to stream while looking like this, you know? I didn't want to stream while looking like a terrible mess. And I just hadn't streamed for who knows how long. I would like to go back to streaming, but for the time being right now, it's hard to say when I'll get back into it. As of right now, I'm kind of in that realm of thinking of, like, how do I want to go about streaming? Because technically we are in the 20th anniversary. Now, while technically we haven't received any other major updates since the announcement of the 20th anniversary, my guess is in March, we're going to get a huge update on Kingdom Hearts in January. Whether it's through merchandising or a potential game that's going to be released later on, whatever the case may be, we're going to get some form of announcement somewhere in March. So that's something to look forward to. But I was thinking, because originally my original plan, the next game that I was going to stream was going to be Final Fantasy VII Remake, playing it through hard mode in order to get the Platinum Trophy for Final Fantasy VII Remake. But now I'm thinking, you know, I just want to do an entire playthrough of the entire Kingdom Hearts series. Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to do that for Days or Coded, due to the fact of it being on handheld, and I don't have a handheld capture card. Some people would argue and say, well, you probably could emulate it. But true, I could emulate it, but that's fortunately a little bit more work than I could put into myself. There's other works that I'm wanting to do, but unfortunately that right there will take up more time than I have. I don't know if I will get to that point. I don't know if I will, but we'll see how that goes. Again, that's a potential ideal that I want to do. As of right now, it's hard to say if I will do that. So for the time being right now, you'll just have to wait until I finally get my mindset back on track to determine what I want to do in terms of streaming. Again, it's a tie between going back into what I had been doing, which is playing through these other games, trying to platinum them and stuff like that, or jump into a Kingdom Hearts stream for the 20th anniversary. That's the ideal concept. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but we'll see. That's an overall plan set right now. Second thing that I want to talk about is the fact that my second channel, BlackCross Favorite Games, has been on pause ever since I got done the last game I played, which was, oh shit, I forgot what the last game was. I honestly don't remember now. Oh, it was Pokemon Colosseum, that's what it was. Okay, I couldn't remember. I knew that we were halfway through Pokemon Colosseum, or rather over halfway, and that's whenever I started on Among Thieves, and then I jumped back onto Pokemon Colosseum. So with that being said, I'm hoping to get back into that, because again, 20th anniversary, I will do like, what I'll probably do is that I'll stream the Kingdom Hearts games and stuff like that. I'll stream through them. And then they will be released on the favorite games, because the Kingdom Hearts series is my favorite game series of all time. So that would make sense. But normally it would be Kingdom Hearts 1. But seeing as how I'm going to be replaying through the entire series and all that stuff, I'll probably release it onto favorite games for viewer purposes, like people who wants to watch it or something like that. I don't know. Again, that's still within the planning phase. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm wanting to do, but we'll see. The other game that I'm wanting to play through for that channel is, of course, Devil May Cry 3, but who knows when I'll get into that. But yeah, that's kind of the plan in terms of Twitch streaming, as well as favorite games. I don't know what I'll do. It's just a matter of getting my mindset back on track. And it's been actually harder to do that for the most part. It's been really hard to get back on track. But now we talk about the main channel. The main channel is Self that you are in right now. For the most part, things are probably going to be doing the same thing, you know. Playing video games, reviewing them, of course. The PlayStation 2 Legacy, which... that's something I wanted to say about that. PlayStation 2 Legacy is going to be on a hiatus, but not in the sense of, like, how I have been doing. It's not going to be stopped. I will get back into it because I love the PlayStation 2. I'm not going to stop playing PlayStation 2 games. That's ridiculous. But the biggest thing that I'm trying to figure out is how I want to go about it, because my plan concept has been kind of jumping back and forth into it. My original thought process that I've been doing so far has been releasing them once every 2 weeks. And that's been working out so far, but I kind of hate that schedule. I hate that. Number one, that kind of gives my mindset thinking that, oh, I can just not play a PlayStation 2 game and just leave it at that. But in reality, it's like, no, that's actually the perfect time, is to try to build up videos so that I can release them later on and stuff like that, you know? That way, if I have a major project that I want to work on and stuff like that, I can work on it instead of working on potential PlayStation 2 Legacy videos. But unfortunately, that has been definitely a disturbance into my overall scheduling. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, what can I do? How far can I go? And what's the best course of action to go with this? This is actually the mindset that I've been trying to get myself to jump back into. It's just not been easy for the most part. It's been pretty difficult. But the overall ideal that I have is that I'm going to put a pause on the PlayStation 2 Legacy until I get like a, forgive me if you will, a season build up. Now, if you know, these episodes are not actually chronologically assigned as seasons, but I feel like pausing long enough to do a season set would be the best course of action. That way I have a goal, I have a date in which I'm going to be releasing them, and then they get released, you know? They'll get released each week or something like that, whatever the plan is. And then I have that video set. And there's two reasons why I want to do that. One is so that that way I have the set of videos prepared. But secondly, because I want to do other bonus content in regards to the PlayStation 2 Legacy. There's actually a couple videos that I've actually been wanting to do for a while. I just hadn't had the mindset to do them. You know what I mean? And I think it is burnout, but it's not the same burnout that I was thinking, you know? I thought it was a burnout of like, oh, doing the channel and stuff like that. And it's like, technically, the channel that I'm doing is not really a job, nor is it a career. It's just a side hobby, you know? So, in other words, I shouldn't be burned out. But I think it's the burnout of the everyday grind, you know? Going through work, coming home, and on my off days, I try to make videos for the channel and stuff. That's probably where the burnout is. It's just different level compared to every other burnout that people have experienced over the years. And I think that's what it is. But I'm wanting to try to get this ideal set up to where I have an ideal date in which I will be releasing a set of videos for the PlayStation 2 Legacy. And then that way, I have the videos build up. I have enough time to make the other bonus content videos that I'm wanting to make. And yeah, that's basically the ideal. I don't know if I'm going to be able to execute that well, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. For the most part, that's the overall plan for the channel. As to the execution, I don't know. Now, there is actually one other side project that I have been working on, and I'm hoping to release that in March alongside the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts series. I don't know how well that's gonna work. because it has been a slow crawl for me. It has been a very slow crawl. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes, because I really, really, really want to do this. I just don't know how I'm going to pull that off. Right now, it still was in the planning phases. We'll see how that goes as the new year comes up and stuff like that. But I need to try to get my mindset set up to where I can get into the mood of wanting to make these videos, because the Kingdom Hearts series is my absolute favorite games of all times. Why is it so hard for me to jump into making videos of a series that is my absolute favorite? I don't know. It's just been really hard for me to try to get into that mindset. But again, back to the whole scenario of trying to recover, work has been hard and stuff like that, so on and so forth. So there are some other potential videos that I'm wanting to make probably before the end of the year. I don't know if I'll get to them. One of them, though, I'm sure some of you are going to be asking me if I'm going to be doing a bucket list game again for 2022. The answer to that is no. I'm not going to do that again, because, unfortunately, much like last year's, I have not really broken through half of the games that I've been wanting to play. In fact, technically, if I can find the list, of course, the games that I still have to play for the bucket list is, of course, World of Final Fantasy, Ni no Kuni 2, the Yakuza series. I have not even stepped into those yet. I still have that. God Eater 2 and 3, I played through the first one. I would like to eventually jump into 2 and 3, but if it plays somewhat the same as how the first one was, I feel like that's going to be a boring playthrough, because the first one was okay. I liked it pretty well. It's just not something that I would probably jump into like I had been for many other games. It's pretty much a grind fest is what it is. Horizon Zero Dawn, definitely need to play that before Forbidden West comes out, which technically that won't be very long. There's also Assassin's Creed Black Flag that I was planning on playing, as well as Persona 5, which the only reason why I didn't play that was because Shin Megami Tensei 5 was fixing to come out, and I knew that Persona 5 was going to be on hold for a while, so I was going to do that. But anyway, so yeah, in terms of bucket list games, it's pretty much going to be the same. Just assume that I'm still trying to break through that. It's just taken a long, long time, unfortunately. But with that being said, there is, of course, a bunch of games that will be coming out in 2022 that I am definitely looking forward to. Of course, I had mentioned Horizon Forbidden West, so that was one of them. Sifu. It was supposed to come out this year, but has been pushed back for next year, for 2022, so that one I'm looking forward to. There's also Final Fantasy Origin Strangers of Paradise. That game I am looking forward to really, really well. I know some people are a little bit mixed on it, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to see how well that executes. Hopefully it does well. We'll see how that goes. It's just a matter of waiting until it comes out. I was not able to play through the demos that came out previously and stuff, only because of the fact that it was a PS5 only demos. And of course, I don't have a PS5. The game is scheduled to be released for PS4 and 5, but the demo was only available for the 5, so it's kind of weird, I know. But still, to a point. We also have the fact that Elden Ring, I'm going to tell you right now, I am more hyped for that game than I had been in the past. When they announced it, Elden Ring, I wasn't as hyped as I was before, but then I saw the recent YouTubers play through the beta and stuff, and I have to say, I'm liking how it looks. I'm really impressed by the amount of technical advancements that they have made with the game, you know. Now, I say technical investment because some people have argued that it looks the same, it's not majorly different, but here's the thing. It's a Soulsborne game, you know. It's sort of alongside like how the Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and Bloodborne series has been. And so it just makes sense. But gameplay-wise, it definitely has some major improvements in terms of like the overall scope, in terms of new different animation that's been added to it and stuff like that. I know some people were probably expecting more from this, but for me, I was expecting just a Dark Souls clone, except from the way they talk in a bigger scale. And I was like, that's impossible. The way you're talking like as though as if it's Dark Souls, but in a bigger open world map, you know, not like open linear like you had in years, but an open world. And it's like, that's insane. That's nuts. Why would you do that? But after seeing the playthrough of the demo and stuff like that, I was impressed. I was like, wow, they actually did it. They actually pulled it off. I'm actually kind of impressed, and I'm looking forward to it. I have to say, I hadn't been this excited in a while, but now I am. I'm pretty excited for this one. This gives me hope. There's also Pokemon Legends Arceus. I'm pretty excited for that game as well. Will I get it on day one? Probably not, because of all the other games that will be coming out, plus potential other games that I'm wanting to play and stuff like that, so that game will more than likely be on hold for me for a while. Then there's God of War Ragnarok. I'm actually impressed. That they finally talked about the game and stuff like that. I actually thought that it was never going to happen. I figured it was going to be in development for a number of years, but no, we finally got it. We finally got details on Ragnarok. I'm looking forward to Ragnarok. I'm liking how it looks so far. I'm looking forward to it. Probably same way with Arceus, probably not a day one release for me, but probably at some point in time I will probably get it, depending on when it gets released. I imagine it's going to be a holiday release, which means it probably won't be until 2023 before I'll finally get to play that. But then there's Breath of the Wild 2. I don't know if it's going to be released on 2022. A lot of people are saying it will. I don't think it will. I think it might get one more push towards 2023. That's what I'm thinking. I know that's ridiculous and it sounds stupid, but until we get further updates and details on Breath of the Wild 2, I feel like that's going to get pushed back again. I don't know. That's my overall thought process, and I think that's probably what's going to happen. I know a lot of you are probably going to be asking me about other games, like, for example, Black Myth Wukong, but that had been confirmed to be released, saying that it won't be until 2023, probably. So, until we get another trailer for it, I'm probably going to have to say that's probably going to be a 2023 release. But I don't know. Hopefully it will get a 2022 release. That'd be pretty cool. But I'm not holding my hopes up that high. But we'll see how that goes. But aside from game releases and stuff like that, another thing too that I'm hoping for, that I'm looking forward to, and that's if things will finally start moving. It seemed like once we finally got something started, we've been put on pause. And I say we've been put on pause for the duration of the time. And I decided to wait until after the holidays and stuff, because I didn't want my mindset to continuously think on that subject. But I would like to eventually move out of the apartment and into an actual house. We've already got the whole thing set up and stuff. We're just waiting on the approvals and stuff of that nature. I decided to do things, I think some people do it differently, but I've heard some people doing it the way that I'm doing it right now, and that is that I'm trying to figure out how much of a loan we can borrow. Now, some people apparently do it backwards. They look for the house, and then they see if they can get a loan for that house and stuff like that. What I'm doing, I'm looking to see how much we could potentially borrow, so that way I can market towards that price range, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, yeah, you could lower the price of the house, and that works that way, but that's if the market has been slow. It has not been. It's been pretty jumpy over the past year or two that I've noticed, that I've been looking, actually. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't see people lowering prices that often, so I want to know how much I can borrow, and then look at houses in that price range, so that way I can go like, okay, this is where we're at, this is where we're going, and this is what could be and what we could get, you know what I mean? That's what I'm wanting to do. As of right now, I don't know how that's going to go. It's right now on a very, very slow process. We went to this one bank, which has been a major improvement. We actually got all the answers we were looking for. We talked it out and stuff like that. We spent like a good hour talking about the situation and stuff like that, as well as talking about our financial things and stuff. And it seemed like it was going well. It seems like it was going good and stuff. He did mention of how we were probably going to be put on a waiting list for a while, considering the fact that there's a lot other people who are looking to buy houses as well. And I have no doubt in my mind that those particular people as well are probably more financially prepared than me and Delmar is. So We'll see how that goes. We just don't know. We have been waiting for, let's see, it's now been 5 months now? Yeah, 5 months. No, 5? 4 or 5. It's been August. That much I know. It's been August since we put in the paperwork and stuff for application for a loan and stuff. But for the most part, it's been a long while waiting. And the last time I called him, he said that it'd probably be a little bit while longer waiting, but he will get more details and get back to me later on. And that was back in October. So here we are in December, and no news has come up, sadly. So I don't know what's happening. I'm going to wait until January comes up, probably mid-January. That sounds like a good idea. And then start asking questions like, okay, how much longer are we going to have to wait? When can we start looking for a house? Do you have an ideal assumption of how much money we could potentially borrow? You know, I want to start looking for a house. I want to be able to think to myself and be like, okay, this is the house that I want to get. This is the house that I want to live in, so on and so forth. Now, I know some people may be asking the question of like, well, what's going to happen in the next 5 or so years? Here's the thing. Me and Delmore have already been in the decision of like, we're just going to play it out. We're going to just play it out and see what happens. We're going to go with what we want to do right now, which is, of course, to move into a house, a hobby house rather, you know, enjoy our hobbies and stuff, and go from there. If at some point in time something does happen, we will react accordingly. So we don't know what can happen, but we're going to assume, hey, we're right here, right now, we're just going to go about and enjoy what we can, you know? It's hard to say, but hopefully things will go well for us. We just got to wait it out, of course, as per usual. So yeah, that is an entire update video for you guys to let you know how things are planning, how things are going and stuff like that. Again, I don't know how things are going to go from here on out. I only know what I want to do and what my plans are and what's been going on right now. I'm trying to get back on track, and trying to stay on track is actually the hardest part. I don't know how things are going to go from here, but I'm hoping that my overall plan goes well. We just got to wait and see what happens, because that is something that I'm wanting to do, all those things, as well as move into the house. I would talk more into details about the house, but for the right now, we're just in that waiting period, and so when something finally happens, I will give an update as to what's going to happen from then on out. So for all we know, things may be put on pause yet again, but maybe not even for that long. We'll just see how things go. I am still playing video games accordingly right now. I am enjoying them as we speak, and I'm just relaxing here and there and stuff of that nature, trying to get my mind set back into motion, you know, just trying to get back on track. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next video. This is BlackCross signing off. Catch you guys there, and have a happy New Year.